goes. Yeah, the fights last night, UFC 320 was pretty good. I had a good time watching them. The prelims were a little off and on. I was a little busy throughout those, so I was kind of touch and go. But I went back and watched some of them, and you know, they were they were pretty good. Not horrible, but not the best. We've seen some of these prelim cards go all finishes, and then we get a shitty kind of a kind of shitty main card. But this time it was a little bit of the opposite, a little mixed up in the prelims, but the main card was pretty good. I think we only got, I should have fixed my fan. I can hear it ticking again. We should have got I'm sorry, I think we only got one decision out of the main card. That's what I was saying. I lost track. But even that decision fight, which was the co-main event, was exciting and fun to watch. So yeah, it was a good night. Hopefully everybody got to watch, and if you were in the watch party last night and in the chat, I'm sure you saw the goofy, silly craziness that we had going on. But we had fun, and we had some good viewers in there and some good chat. So that's always the best part, is when people get in there and interact and really get to talking. We had a few people that were in and out because they were watching. Their streams were behind a little bit, so which is fine. I get it. Streaming doesn't always match up, so that's the bad part about it. But that's what's going to be weird when it comes to the Paramount Plus stuff, because honestly, I mean, to be truthful, when you're watching, I could be in here and my living room TV could be ahead or behind, and then that's happened a lot. Like when I have people sitting out there watching while we're in here with the watch party, we'll hear them yelling, or we'll be yelling, and then someone's like, "Oh shit, you guys did that like a second before, or 2 minutes, not 2 minutes, but 2 or 5 seconds before we saw it." And it's like, damn, we know something's gonna happen. But yeah, it is what it is. Nothing's perfect, and I think there was even TVs that were doing stuff like that, depending on what cable service you had and all that good stuff. So I just heard something. I was like, "What the hell is that?" Anyway, yeah. So we're here back at it. I mean, the fights ended early too. It was kind of crazy. You know, again with all of the main card ending with finishes. I don't think any of them. Oh yeah, one did go to the third round, Yuri and Khalil, but it just felt fast. It felt so fast. I mean, it was like 10 o'clock here when we were done, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but like it just felt like the night flew by, and but we had a good time. Hey, you can't hear me? That's not good. Is it really low? Huh. Oh, I see what's happening. There it is. Is that better? That's weird. I don't know why it got low. I wonder if, I hope it wasn't low last night. Nobody said anything though. I was pausing in between because I was listening to it on the where I was monitoring. But thank you, Mom, for pointing that out, and thank you, Infinity, too, for jumping in. Welcome back, Infinity. Infinity was here last night for the watch party. I assume it wasn't like that last night. I actually forgot to go back and listen. I had a busy day. I was trying to catch up on everything. It's just been kind of a crazy weekend. Just feel like it flew by. Trying to get some stuff done. Still feeling it while at work. Oh shit. Well, he had a long drive ahead of him after he left last night too. So, but he got home safe and good, and that's good. But yeah, we had a good time, and appreciate you for coming by, Infinity. Once again, go follow Infinity's channel. I owe him at least one trip up there, but probably more. So yeah, I wonder what happened though. That's kind of weird that the volume was down, because I don't know. I didn't touch anything. And I did my prep work fairly quick, but I mean, I didn't touch anything, so it's weird. But it is what it is. Easy fix. I actually had problems today, technical wise, with other stuff. I had a different Nest thermostat, because we have one here, but it's older. It's like the first generation, and we wound up oh, okay, thanks, Mom. Appreciate you for telling me that. She said it was good last night. So yeah, nobody really complained, and there was a lot of people giving their opinions in the chat, so I would assume that they would let me know. But and I appreciate it, because that's how we, hey Shawnee, what's up? Sean, speaking of in the chat, Shawnee was in the chat last night. Welcome back, Shawnee. But yeah, I had a Nest thermostat I was trying to work on earlier, trying to switch it out with the new one, the newest generation one, because the old one isn't supported anymore. And I was having trouble. My AC would not turn off. No matter what I did, I would hit like turn the thermostat to off, not even like automatic to a temperature to turn off, none of that. So yeah, I got used to it being on auto, and I'm not highlighting any of these comments, but yeah, so I couldn't get it to turn off. As much as I didn't want to, I called tech support, and well, my wife set it up, and she was like, here, talk to them. I'm like, yeah, good call. So yeah, it turns out it's defective. They had me do some troubleshooting stuff, and defective, which is crap, because I've actually had it for like a week now, or 2 weeks probably, and I haven't put it in. And here we go. So I put my old one back in, and it works. So it's like, come on, man. I'm supposed to be getting a new one so it can work better. And the shit. I'll tell you what, though, my house was cold because the AC was not turning off. But I got it all sorted out, and we're good to go. So for now, at least, the AC is working. Everything's good. I'll just return it. They're gonna send me a new one, and we'll be good. And hopefully that one will go in just fine, no problems, and we'll be good to go. So technical difficulties all day. AC not turning off is a good thing until you get that bill at the end of the month. Yeah, no shit, Shawnee. Believe me, I know. I'm in Arizona. It's hot as fuck. Not as hot as it is where Infinity is, because he's in the hotter part of Arizona. But yeah, it's hot, and yeah, it was almost cold. It was kind of cold in my house because it wasn't turning off. But you're right, that electric bill sucks. So I used to live in a 2-story house, and that was 2 AC units, and holy shit, during the summer, horrible ass electric bills. So anyway, crisis averted with that. At least I know there's nothing wrong with the AC, just a stupid brand new out of the box thermostat. But yeah, that was my fun for the day. And then I did some other stuff, did the prep work for tonight, and here we are. So hopefully everything else will be fine. No other problems. I appreciate my mom for jumping in and letting me know that it was low and then Infinity confirmed. So now we're good to go. I'm in Florida, so the humidity. Oh, fuck that. Yeah, I could imagine. Humidity sucks, man. It's almost worse. You know, everyone in Arizona is like, it's a dry heat. And it's like, well, that's somewhat of a good thing. But when you're standing outside in 115-degree weather, it's and you have to wear long sleeves and pants for work, and you're walking around a substation yard, and you're like, sun's just beating on you. It's hot as fuck, and who cares if it's dry or if it's humid? It just sucks. Love you too, Mom. Thank you. But yeah, it's bad. So, but I can imagine the humidity. It sucks. So anyway, we're moving into the cooler times, hopefully here soon. Arizona's weird. We hardly ever get there until like December, and then even then, it's like, damn. Hey, DJ, loved you last night on the UFC 320 party. Hell yeah, showing Infinity some love. That's cool. Yeah, he was good. He was catching some heat from the other 2 fellas in here that like to talk a lot of shit. Mr. Bob Dole got a little mouthy after after he got some drinks in him. It was funny. It's all in good fun, but you know, sometimes I'm like, oh man, I kind of want to just be like, hey guys, let's just chill out a little bit here. We don't need both of you fucking like gang up on me. You ain't got to gang up on everybody else. I know it's all in fun. No one's getting too, you know, personal, but that's how things start. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're here to have fun, so let's make it fun, and then when it starts to not get fun, let's go back to what we're doing and having fun. Thanks, Shawnee, appreciate that. He's a lightweight. No, Bob Dole's funny though. He's a funny dude. He gets passionate. He's been trying to learn more too, so he could you know, add more to the stream, because he said last time he felt like he was just sitting there. And I understand, man. It was also his first time ever doing it. That's what's fun about this, though. I like getting my friends involved. You know, he's a secondhand friend because he's friends with Clark. But Yeah, it's all good. Most of the people Clark has introduced me to have been good people. So, and I say most because there's been a couple I haven't liked. And I'm the type of person to let someone know. So Clark knows that too. So he always asks, hey, is it cool? Can we do this? I'm like, yes. And I appreciate that because we don't want no problems, man. We're here to have fun. So, but yeah, it's a different kind of experience when you're sitting here and these bright lights are in your face and people are listening and you get in your head and it's like, damn. But it's a fun time, and last night was definitely fun. So yeah, we're gonna recap all that stuff here. I gotta hit the Noctane because I am dragging a little bit here as usual because I'm end of the night, I'm like, or into the night, getting to the end, and I'm like, fuck. Usually I'm tired from work. Today I'm tired from running around doing all kinds of shit, and all the technical difficulties were garbage. And then I come in here and there's more. At least that was an easy fix though. So I am going to shout out my sponsors real quick. Noctane Smelling Salts, of course. You saw us hitting these last night if you were in the chat or watching the stream. And yeah, as you know, they hit pretty hard. So I'm going to be careful here, but I'm hoping for a good one just because I need it. So here we go. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh, that was real peppery too. Because it has scents. Like you can get different scents. Oh, my eyes are always twitching. Yeah, so there's scents that you can add in so it doesn't just smell like ammonia. That's basically what it is. But yeah, there's scents you can add in, and I had him just surprise me. He said he had a couple new scents coming out. Black pepper was one of them, and that's what he sent me. And I was like, ooh, this could be bad. But it's not that bad. It's actually good. But man, as it's getting older, it's hitting. When it hits hard, it it really smells like black pepper, which is crazy. Usually that makes me sneeze, but it's not the true form of black pepper. So I guess that's why I don't sneeze. I'm clearing up my nose though. Damn. Thank you though, Noctane Smelling Salts, for the sponsorship. Of course, this is the Red Cap, the most potent. They have lower potencies. You can start off slow, but go check out their website. Scan that QR code, hit the description and the link below. Anybody that wants to go follow Infinity, you can do that by going back to that Watch Party podcast that we had last night. I put his @ in the description, so you can just click on that link and it'll take you straight to his page, and you can go follow him there. Same with Noctane, link in the description, and you can go check out their webpage and get some smelling salts and learn about them. It's good. It was a great vibe. Everyone is judged on live reactions, and us in the chats get the benefit of double checking our live comments. It was a good stream. Enjoyed it. Thank you, Shawnee. We appreciate that, man. It's always good to have people come in and give us feedback. Whether it's good or bad, feedback is always good. And everyone's willing to listen to the difference of opinions, which Shawnee, we had differences in opinions last night, and we're just giving our back and forth. There's no need to be nasty about it. We're just having some good conversation, and we're talking about what we're passionate about, which is MMA and the UFC. So that's what I like about having the chat. That's why I added all the elements of highlighting comments and having the chat on the screen. I think it's fun for everybody to be able to see what people are saying when I'm answering questions or responding to any of the chat. People might not know, hey, there's the chat below. That's what he's talking about. But some people don't pay attention to that. So if you're just watching the screen, you get the benefits of having the chat on the screen, and that's what I like. Do you do Dana White Contender Series live streams? No, I don't, because I have a pretty demanding job. So and when I'm done with my job, I come home and do stuff for the family and stuff like that. And then I'm prepping for the shows. So yeah, I wish I could, because I definitely would. Cause they've been so exciting lately. It would be a fun stream. But anytime I have time to, I will definitely try to get them in there. Because I would love to do more streams. But yeah, I mean, Clark's already talking shit about me being on every night of the week. I'm like, bro, just pay attention. It may seem that way. I have upped it to 2 nights a week, and then when there's watch parties, that makes it 3. So 3 nights out of the 7 days, yeah, it's a lot. And then I got to prep. I like to do the prep. I like to give everybody something to look at while I'm just yapping and yapping. But he was so serious too. Yeah. But I like to give everybody the visuals, you know. If I could, I would play the replays, but I can't because I get flagged, and that sucks because I don't want my channel to go away. It's taken me this long to grow it to where it is, and I appreciate all the, you know, all the support in doing that. So any people in the chat and liking the videos and subscribing and stuff, I appreciate that. You know, jumping into higher subscriptions, and that's good. I'm never looking to get famous off of this or have like millions of views, but if it ever comes that way, I would love that. It would be awesome. And never been looking to make money off this, but if it happens, it's a great bonus. But this is what I'm passionate about, so I love doing it. And I thank everybody for jumping in and helping me make it good and keeping it fun and interesting. So let's get into what we're here for. Let's talk about some UFC 320. Let's get it going. Here we go. It being a passion is the best part. Yeah, no doubt. That's why, you know, I think that's why I've been able to keep it going for so long. It's been over 2 years now, so it's pretty crazy. Never thought I'd be able to do it for that long, especially. So never thought people would enjoy listening to me talk about MMA. So I appreciate everybody that does. And Shawnee's been here for a long time, so I appreciate that. And of course, Infinity's always giving support. We've been doing podcasting for a while together, so it's good. But yeah, Ankalaev versus Pereira 2 happened last night. Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen for the bantamweight championship happened last night as well. Merab and Corey were the only fight on the main card to go to, you know, decision. But it was a fun fight to watch, honestly. A lot of times when we go 5 rounds and you get a fighter like Merab who likes to wrestle and can hold people down and doesn't run out of gas, he, you know, it gets a little boring sometimes, but and so I'm always wondering if that's what's going to happen. But Merab is just full of energy. He keeps things moving. His striking was up last night. He was striking a lot more than usual. And Corey is one of those guys that doesn't like to be held down. I mean, nobody really does, right? But he doesn't. He's especially doesn't like to be held down. So he fights his way out, and that's what made it interesting. Watching all the transitions, watching all the, you know, the breakouts from the takedowns and getting up and all that, the takedown defense, everything. But Merab is just a machine. That's why that's his nickname, and he kept it going. He, you know, I think he had like 20 takedowns, which is a record in a title fight. Crazy. He has the record for the most attempted takedowns as well. He's got the overall record. He's got all kinds of records when it comes to the takedowns and keeping people down there and control time, all that good stuff. So Merab is a machine, and that's why he's still the champ. If you didn't know, Merab did win, and we're gonna obviously get into that here in a few minutes when we get there. But I like to go through the prelims just like I do for the preview. I got to come back and recap it and let you know what happened, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. But Ankalaev versus Pereira, part 2, the rematch. Of course, we heard all of the rumors about Pereira being injured when he went into the last fight. You know, he was overworked. He was taking fights back and forth all the time, saving cards, very little time in between to rest and recover. And, you know, as much as anybody wants to say that's an excuse, it is what it is, because he showed and proved why that was a factor for him in that first fight. He didn't look like himself walking out. He was sick on top of being injured, and when it came down to it, he showed that was not an excuse. It was a true fact, and he came out looking like the Pereira of old. He was hyped up, talking more shit than usual on the way in. Ankalaev was even talking shit, which is crazy. And because these guys aren't really known for that, you know. Pereira's just like a stoic savage, and Ankalaev's just never been, you know, obviously he doesn't even speak English, and so he's never been much of a talker. He's more about business, and they were both talking it up a little more this time around. So Merab is the greatest 135er of all time. Guy said, F it, I want to fight in December. Yeah, dude, and I'm leaning towards Merab definitely being that. I don't know, I can't even come up with any reasons why he's not. So the way that he fights and the way that he keeps things going, I thought more people would disagree with that just because they don't like his fighting style, but I think he's mixing it up just enough now. to make it a little more interesting, and I think he's going to capitalize on that, and he's going to keep getting better. And as long as that gas tank stays intact, I think he's going to continue on the path that he's been on. Eagle MMA, what's up? Do you know about Lost Soul MMA? He's streaming right now and loves your channel. Oh, no shit. No, I don't know about him, but thanks for letting me know. I'll have to check that out. Loves my channel too, huh? That's cool. Appreciate that support. You can pass that along, and I'll have to check out his stuff. Is that what the name is on YouTube? Lost Soul MMA? I'll definitely look that up, and check it out, because I appreciate that, and I want to support anybody that's supporting me. That's what it's all about, man. Especially all of us channels that aren't like huge. Lost Soul sent me. Oh damn. All right. What's up, 316 Immortal? Welcome in, guys. Appreciate you for jumping in. Damn, everybody's in here from Lost Soul, huh? That's cool. Thanks for letting me know too, because I will definitely reciprocate that. And Infinity, if you're in here, go check it out. Let me know what's up. Yes, bro. He's a very positive YouTuber and he's very nice. Okay, cool. Thanks. That's awesome. I love it when I get good people in here and that like the channel. I've run out of excuses for this guy not to be the 135 GOAT. He's either finishing everyone in the division or dominating everyone. Hell yeah, Shawnee, that's the truth for sure. Illumi, he's a cool dude, but is suspected of being the Scarsboro Strangler. See, that's cool, man. You guys got jokes too. I mean, maybe you're not joking, but it sounds like a joke, and that's pretty funny. I will definitely check it out as well. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you guys for jumping in, man. That's cool. We're here just to get going on talking about UFC 320, but definitely want your input. So anybody that's in here, make sure you hit that like button for me as well while you're here, even if you jump out early. But I've heard of Lost Soul. He's a good guy. He finds the good in all fighters, no matter their level. Nice. Oh, there he is. Everyone, let's go to Lost Soul stream. Oh shit, now he's trying to take everybody. No, it's all good. Welcome in though. Hey, appreciate you. Please activate donations in your live. I'm gonna have to look into that, Shawnee. I remember you said that last night, so I will definitely look into that. I've never really paid attention to any of that stuff because I'm, like I said, Lost Soul, can you link your stream? Oh shit, it's just but yeah, so I've never really looked into that, so I'll definitely take a look and see what's going on with that, and I'll let you know when I figure it out. But yeah, so we're back here. Ankalaev versus Pereira, fun fight, didn't last long, and we see Poaton become the champ again. So we'll get a little deeper, as deep as we can into that when we get there. Definitely want to give shine to the prelim fights and fighters as well, which is what I normally do, like I said. So let's get started. Don't mind the trolling. This is how we have fun. Oh, okay. I never know, man. That's why I don't take offense a lot of time, because I never know. The guys I collab with, Combat Sports Today, they had some jokes here and there too, but they were real supportive. But yeah, I never know if I always think someone's trolling me, and I'm just like, oh, that just might be their thing. So Hob Knocker, we're really trying to support you, even though you hate it and don't ask for it. Lots of us enjoy your company and your passion for MMA. Damn, man. Hey, that makes me feel good, man. I really do appreciate that. That's really all I ever need. But if you want to, I'll figure out the donate stuff, and I'll throw it up there. But yeah, no, I appreciate everybody coming through, even if you're just joking around in the chat or whatever. And if Lost Soul sent you over here to jump in and give me some views for a minute and hit the like button and stuff, I appreciate that too. And you guys can always check me out any other time that I'm live, if we're not live on the same nights, and I'll check out Lost Soul MMA as well. So I appreciate all that. All right, Infinity, appreciate you. I'm sure you'll jump back in if you can. So thanks again. And everybody check out Infinity's channel as well. All right, so yeah, let's get into this. Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. So yeah, this one went all 3 rounds. Obviously, unanimous decision. I have no idea who Lost Soul MMA is, LOL, but glad you're here. Yeah, no shit. Me either, but it's fun learning about new people and everybody that does this, because you know, everybody needs support here and there. So it's always fun to find out the new channels. And hey, you know what? If collaborations happen because of it, even better. It's fun making friends in the MMA space. So we got Veronica Hardy versus Brogan Walker. There was some good action in this fight. I mean, Veronica Hardy, I felt, was going to win this one regardless. I think she might have been favored anyway. She was a huge favorite at minus 800, but I've seen Brogan Walker fight before. She's a pretty decent fighter as well. But Veronica Hardy definitely had the upper hand in this one, as you can see. Some domination on the ground, and you know, some good striking as well. So she got the win by unanimous decision. I didn't watch every second of this fight, but it was a couple of the times that I jumped in on it. It was pretty good. So I jumped in right at this next fight, which was Ramiz Brahimaj versus Austin Vanderford. And man, I definitely Shawnee, Infinity is at work, so he had an emergency. There's just something for his work, so he had to go, but he always jumps back in if he gets a chance to, so he might be back. So but yeah, it's all work related. But yeah, we had Brahimaj versus Vanderford, and man, I was thinking Vanderford was going to come out 100% and win this one, just because he was so hyped in that first fight. He came out swinging and came out hungry in that first fight in the UFC that he had. But man, he met his match with Brahimaj, landed that big head kick, and you can see that nasty gash in his head that I don't remember exactly. It might have been an elbow that busted him open, but Vanderford wound up with that just crazy gash in his above his eyebrow. I mean, it looks like he has big eyebrows as it is, and it might be the angle of the camera, but it looks like it looks like he has an elephant eyebrow. It's insane. With the way that gash is cutting through it, but that is nasty. So if you're squeamish, I'm sorry. I should have given a little warning that we were gonna have some graphic stuff, but most of us MMA fans know what it's about because you see these pictures all over the place. But Brahimaj was pretty impressive in this one. Second round, gets the submission by guillotine, even though I'm showing this head kick, but that's the head kick that started the whole situation that got Vanderford down to the ground and was able to get Brahimaj to lock in that submission. Eagle MMA, Lost Soul MMA is the greatest YouTuber on this platform. You are blessed. He graced you with his presence. Why, thank you, sir. You know what's funny? I've actually had some. I'm not trying to brag or nothing. I just, because I was ignorant to it all. I had I don't know if anybody's heard of MMA Holes, but he's a pretty big YouTuber, and he streams all the fights and has watch parties for all of them, and he's pretty big time. He always has hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching all of his streams. And he was in here at one point, and he came in a couple times actually in my chat and just gave me the good job, and he complimented me on my music and said keep on grinding. So, and I didn't even know who he was until that point, so that was cool. And then I got Combat Sports Today, who jumped in too, and they were complimenting me on my stuff, said they liked my channel, and now I've collabed with them a couple times doing interviews. They had me collab with them, and I'm a part of their team for interviewing. So if you want to check out my fighter interviews, I've done a couple, and I've interviewed the president of Brave CF as well. That was my most recent one a few weeks back. You can go back and check out those interviews as well, so that'd be cool. Yeah, it was an elbow and not that kick. Regardless, Vanderford is not trying to finish and trying to just chill. I respect everyone that makes that walk, but it's okay to judge. Have a great night, man. Keep up the grind. Keep what you're doing. Okay, thanks, Eagle MMA. Appreciate you guys for jumping in, letting me know about Lost Souls. I'll check his stuff out too, and I'll jump in whenever I can over there as well. He should have been on Dana White Contender Series first, but I get he was on Contender Series actually. He had one fight in Contender Series and he won, but he won by decision, I think, and it was on one of those nights where Dana White was so fucking mad that everybody underperformed and he didn't get a bunch of crazy fights like he's been getting recently. So back in that day, he was pissed, and I don't think anybody got contracts that night. So Vanderford lost out just because he didn't put up a great performance, which is his fault, but it was also a very bad night for everybody. And while he won, he did not he did not get the contract. So we're jumping in and out. Oh yeah. See, Infinity's back. He'll jump in and out. It's what it is. He's working, so I appreciate him even jumping in at this point when he's working too. So thanks, Infinity. But yeah, so back to this. Yeah, that kick was impressive though, and you know it's hard. It's tough to find pictures for everything. Always looking for the main pictures that, you know, the cause of things or what happened, and a lot of times they don't put them out there. It takes a lot to find some of them, and a lot of times the main pictures are just the same ones over and over again. So you'll see them everywhere if you Google, but a lot of times you don't get the exact pictures you want. So I got to deal with what I got, and that head kick was good, and that is what started the process of getting Vanderford out of there. So but yeah, it was a good fight, and sucks for Vanderford, but I mean, he's 1-1 now in the UFC, and I think he has what it takes to, you know, come back and win and do a little something in the UFC, but that's yet to be seen, and we'll find out when he comes back. Brahimaj though looks good in this fight, and winds up now on a 3-fight win streak. His last 2 fights had performance of the night bonuses. Mickey Gall with a first round TKO, and then Billy Ray Goff in his last fight, first round submission, and he got performance of the night bonuses on both of those. He did not get a bonus for this one, but gets a second round submission against Austin Vanderford. So that was a good one for Brahimaj. Next up, we're back to the women. Oh no, we're not. My bad. I got ahead of myself. We are at Farid Basharat versus Chris Gutierrez. And okay, cool. Yeah, so Yana Santos and Macy Shazan. Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck, I jumped ahead again. For Farid Basharat and Chris Gutierrez. I mean, this was a pretty fun fight as well. You know, there was some good action all the way through, but it did go to unanimous decision with Basharat getting the win. I was a little bit in and out on this one too, because I was doing some other things, but every time I was jumping in, I was thinking Gutierrez was winning. So I was just catching the spots where Gutierrez was doing good things, but Basharat, I mean, at the end I watched the very last minute or so, and then the decision, and then I see that Basharat won it. So I went back and watched the highlights and stuff, and yeah, I mean, he did a good job in there against Gutierrez. Chris Gutierrez is one of those guys that he's back and forth, wins and losses. You know, he had won 2 in a row, but before that he lost one, won one, lost one. He was on a decent win streak back in 2022, but since then he's been kind of back and forth on it. So he has a couple wins against a couple decent names, but his last loss was against Song Yadong back in 2023, won 2 in a row, and now he lost to Basharat in this one. And Basharat is now on a pretty big win streak. He's actually undefeated in the UFC, 5-0. He's 14-0 overall. So that was a tough fight for Gutierrez coming in undefeated. Basharat comes from the Contender Series and also fought in looks like Octagon as well. So he's undefeated now, up to 5-0 in the UFC and 14-0 overall. So he's on the come up. We'll see who they give him next for his opponent, and Gutierrez will have to work his way back into the win column. Paramount Plus will definitely have more of us watching. Yeah, it'll be a little easier then, especially because, you know, I mean, but hey, most of the fights are free if you have I guess if you have ESPN Plus. But no matter what, at this point, you have to subscribe to something. At least now, though, you don't have to subscribe and then also pay $80 on top of that. So that's what's going to make the big difference, and that's what I'm excited about, because I spend a lot of damn money on these fights, because I can't do a watch party while watching a not so great stream that keeps blanking out, because we freak out as it is when we get a second of pause over here. Next up, though, we'll get to these women that I was jumping ahead to after I get a sip. But we had Yana Santos versus Macy Shazan. This was an exciting fight, honestly. These girls were going at it, and they were going back and forth. It seemed like at one point Shazan was definitely going to get that win, but Yana Santos was just stayed there and kept doing what she was doing. It was a pretty close fight. I kind of thought we'd see a split decision, but it was a unanimous decision win for Yana Santos on this one. And I think Shazon actually missed weight because they fought at 137, and Santos was not happy with that. She's now on a 3-fight win streak, though, regardless of the missing weight of Shazon. She last beat Miesha Tate back in May of this year. Before that, she beat Chelsea Chandler in 2024. She her last time she lost, she was on a 3-fight losing streak. So now she's on a 3-fight win streak. We'll see what she turns that into, considering that 3-fight losing streak previously. If she jumps down into the losing column again, who knows what'll happen there. Macy Chiasson is now on a 2-fight losing streak because she lost to Yana Santos and lost to Ketlin Vieira before that, and she had the weight issues this time. So that's never good. She's going to have to make up for that in her next fight and not have any issues at all, because you know the UFC doesn't like it when you miss weight. That's always a bad thing. And then, of course, you got to deal with your opponent, who's now extremely pissed. And you might get a little extra punishment for that. But it's weird because a lot of times when a fighter misses weight and the fight stays on and continues, then, you know, a lot of times that fighter that missed weight will be the one that wins. So that's what kind of sucks about it. And I mean, they got to give up a percentage of their purse, but they're still at an advantage because they didn't have to, you know, they still have a couple pounds. A couple pounds is a couple pounds, regardless of the fact that it doesn't seem like a lot. You know, they were supposed to be fighting at 135, technically 136, because you get that 1 pound, you know, that 1 pound extra. But if you can't make that weight even, then you're never going to make the weight for championship rounds, because you don't get that allowance when you're in the championship fight. You have to be on the dot 135 or whatever the weight class is. So Shazon needs to get that under control and not make that a habit. But yeah, she's now on a 2-fight losing streak, so she definitely paid the price with a percentage of her purse plus losing the fight, so she only gets half of that now, more than likely. So it's a tough one, but you got to make weight. Next up, we have Punahele Soriano versus Nikolai Veretennikov. And I mean, this fight was pretty, I mean, Punahele Soriano is one of those guys that I feel like if he's on, it's fun to watch. And Veretennikov, I think, was had a pretty good fight in his last time around. Yeah, he got that win against Francisco Prado. It was a split decision, so it was probably a pretty close fight. That was in that Holloway Poirier fight back in July of 2025 this year. So he was coming off. He's the guy, Veretennikov is the guy that lost to Vanderford when Austin Vanderford fought his first fight in the UFC, which was back in February of this year. So, damn, I didn't realize it was this year. I was thinking it was last year. So time flies, but at the same time, you look back at February and you're like, that feels like a year ago. I don't know. That's weird. It felt funky. I didn't realize that. But yeah, so I mean, in his last 4 fights, he's 1-3 for Veretennikov, which is pretty shitty. So he needs to get that back going to get himself in the win column. It puts him at 13-7 overall, and now he is 1-3 in the UFC. That's not a fun record for the UFC. So they're definitely going to want to see more out of him. Punahele Soriano is now on a 3-fight win streak with wins over Miguel Beza, Uros Medic, and Nikolai Veretennikov, who he just beat here. So yeah, 3-fight win streak. That's good for him. What do we got? ESPN recently changed their subscription, which I think is heading in the right direction. Before it was only ESPN Plus. Now they offer a package of ESPN, ESPN2. Damn, all those networks? But it's like, who gives a shit anymore, because the UFC is leaving. But I did see that they updated their app and stuff, and I don't like it. I think it sucks. I have trouble getting on. Sometimes it's a little funky. It acts weird. It tells you to log in even though you're logged in already, and then you go to watch something and it tells you get access, and then you hit that and it's like almost like you got to log in but you're already logged in. It's just confusing as shit. So they updated this because the UFC is leaving. Yeah, that's what I figured too. And they did make it a little tougher to find the UFC stuff. Like, it's a little buried now instead of instead of being right out in front, which is weird because you would think they want to bring in the viewership to at least take advantage of the little bit of time they had left, but apparently they're being salty, so it is what it is. But next up we had Edmund Shabazian versus Andre Muniz. This was a good fight too. First round finish for Edmund Shabazian down to the last seconds of the first round, and yeah, I mean it was a good fight from him. Andre Muniz drops the fight to Shabazian by TKO. That's his second loss in a row in the first round by TKO. And what's weird is that they both happened in the last seconds of the first round. So he's got something going on with the end of the first round. He lost to Ikram Eliskerov in 4 minutes and 54 seconds of the first round by TKO as well in his last fight, and now he drops it to Edmund Shabazian in the first round at 4 minutes and 58 seconds by TKO too. So Muniz is having trouble getting out of that first round. You can pay like $14 versus his package of 29 or 39. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna keep up my. Well, I think I get it for free as a bundle right now. We'll see how it changes after the first of the year. I mean, I still watch stuff on ESPN, I guess, but if it's not MMA, I don't really watch much of it, so it might not be worth it for me. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Shabazian looked good in this one with that first round finish against Andre Muniz in the middleweight division. As you can see, he finished it on the ground, punches and elbows from the top. He was throwing some good elbows down there, and got the decisive win in the last couple seconds of the first round. Next up is one I was waiting to talk about just because it involves a guy that came over from Bellator / PFL. And you know, these guys have had trouble. We saw Aaron Pico get knocked out. We saw Pitbull have a horrible fight in his first fight in the UFC. Michael Venom Page, you know, it took him a minute to get a little comfortable, and you know, he didn't look like himself in the beginning either, but he's doing better now. But yeah, these guys that are coming over just seem to be having bad luck over here in the UFC, and a lot of these guys were highly just anticipated, you know, debuts in the UFC because people wanted them here a long time ago. And Patchy Mix was screaming and yelling about how he was the best bantamweight in the world, but he comes in and fights not the highest level of competition in the UFC in the bantamweight division, and you know, drops his first fight, comes in and drops his second fight as well. He lost by split decision. And while I heard a lot of chatter about the fact that maybe he got robbed and he should have won that fight, I don't believe he should have. I feel like he started slow. He didn't pick up the pace very much. He got beat up. And he just looks sluggish, and I don't get it. I don't know if it, I mean, is it the cage? Is it that different for him? Is it the crowd? The lead up to the fight? I mean, what's different for him that makes him come in here and not be able to fight like he did before? I talked about last week how, you know, it seemed like his last few fights he was kind of leaning in that direction of not being that exciting fighter that he was before. But it's gotten progressively worse as he's gone into his second fight in the UFC. So I'm just wondering, is Patchy Mix going to pick it up? I mean, I don't even think he's that old. Let me double check and see how old he is. He's 32. So, I mean, this is technically like prime time for him. I mean, he was a champ in Bellator. But again, this is one of those things where just because you're a champ in another organization does not mean that you're going to come in and just be a champ in the UFC. It's a different level of competition, and you know, you have to come in and make a name for yourself right away. It doesn't matter what you did anywhere else, because if you come in the UFC and you stink it up, people are not going to like you and not going to want to watch you fight. But you know, it's a lot of pressure coming in as a champion in another organization that was as well known as Bellator. So I mean, I got to give him a little grace for that one. There is a lot of pressure there, especially to, you know, come in and be expected to be a world beater because you talked yourself up that way. I mean, that's a damn shame, but it's the truth, and that's what happens with some of these guys that come into the UFC after being in other organizations and not really fighting this level of competition or being in this type of environment. Wasn't Edmund Shabazian a Ronda Rousey trained fighter? I know she was his manager for a bit. He switched to Extreme Couture and he's been, yeah. So yeah, you're right. He was fighting. He was in Ronda Rousey's camp with that guy Edmund, who was an idiot. Just because Ronda was great, he was found out. Like, he was found out that he was not the best coach. He was out there screaming and yelling about how she was the best boxer in the UFC, the best striker in the UFC, and we saw that get exposed. He's a yes man, and yeah, Shabazian was there working and training hard, but you know, he got the short end of the stick with that one, I feel like. So the move to Extreme Couture has definitely been really good for him, and I feel like he's got a lot of big things up ahead as well if he keeps on fighting as well as he has been recently. So that guy was building gyms off her name 100%. That's what it is. He hit the jackpot with Ronda Rousey. He had her, you know, I don't want to say brainwashed, but it kind of felt that way. He had her brainwashed to a certain extent, and maybe that's what soured her on wanting to come back or wanting to continue with her career. She found out the hard way that just because somebody that's close to you tells you you're the best at everything, and you happen to be winning, doesn't mean that that's going to hold up forever. And she got left behind big time. And then now we're hearing about, no, it was brainwashed. You being too nice. I know, you're right, because I hated that guy when he was, I mean, I always heard all the bullshit about that guy, and not that I'm some kind of insider, but when you listen to all kinds of shit when it comes to MMA podcasts and shows and all kinds of stuff, when you start hearing these rumors, there's always some sort of truth to it. And when you start seeing her getting beat up, and you're saying you're the best striker in the UFC, you're not. That's not good. That's not good. Saying you're doing great when you're not doing great, okay, boosted confidence, whatever, but that's called being delusional, and that's what he was, and he made her delusional. And I think that's why her fall from grace was so hard and so fast. And I mean, it's a little bit to do with her personality too, because she left the WWE, which I've heard some shit about the WWE too, but she left the WWE with a sour taste in her mouth as well. So it's like, maybe it's you. No worries, Shawnee. This is what I like. I like going back and forth. I like talking about things. So it's what keeps the show going a lot of times. But you know, it also keeps my brain going too. So it's good. But yeah, we'll see. There's rumors about Ronda coming back. Who knows? I guess we'll keep covering it. I did talk about it in a couple shows ago, I think. So. But yeah, back to this. Patchy Mix, I don't know what he's going to do, man. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. Hasn't won in the UFC yet since coming over. And, you know, he's talked about how good he is. And he's losing to a debut fighter in Jacob Wicklax, who is a training partner of Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I guess she came up with him. It definitely was a boring fight for sure. But he came up with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She was excited for him to get the win. He was a KSW champion as well before he came into the UFC. So again, being a champion in another organization like KSW, you have a lot of pressure because a lot of people are expecting a lot from you. And it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best performance in the world, but he did get the win. It was by split decision to Patchy Mix and all, but he still comes out with that W. So. We'll see what he does next in his second fight in the UFC, and we'll see what happens with Patchy. He can't go 3-0, man. That's not going to be good for him at all. So, next up, we had Daniel Santos versus Ju Sang Yu, Ju Sang Yu. But man, this one was a little crazy because Ju Sang Yu was acting like he was fucking the big shit in there. And he kind of got taken out with that left hook that dropped him, and got finished on the ground by Daniel Santos. Second round, 21 seconds into the second round. Hence, Ju Sang Yu, his first UFC and his first loss in his whole career. He was coming into this one at 9-0, and now he's 9-1. And that makes him 1-1 in the UFC. He won in the first round, 28 seconds in the first round against Jeka Syringa. That was a performance of the night bonus for him back in June. So he's coming in thinking he's got it all figured out, and he met Daniel Santos and lost 21 seconds into the second round. So Daniel Santos is now 13-2, and that makes him 4-1 in the UFC. He's now on a 2-fight win streak. His last fight, he got a performance of the night bonus as well with another second round TKO win over John Castaneda. So now he's, oh, I'm sorry. What the hell am I talking about? I was on the wrong thing. That was 3 fights ago. He's now on a 4-fight win streak. There was a big gap in there, and I did not realize I was not scrolled all the way up. So in his last 4 fights, he's got 2 decisions and 2 TKO wins, both in the second round, with 1 performance bonus there. He hasn't lost since 2022 against Julio Arce. So yeah, he's gonna look to keep that streak going. He has fought twice this year. Before that, he had a little bit of a gap. He fought twice in 2023 and had some canceled bouts in 2024, but didn't. Patchy's girlfriend is Tatiana Suarez. Yeah, this is a card that I got to rewatch later this week and analyze. Yeah, I tried to get to some of the fights. I didn't get to all of them because I did want to go through more of them before I did the show, but I was not able to. But I mean, I watched most of it, got the gist of it all. And some of these, some of these guys are up and comers that we're going to see in some fights that'll probably mean a little more in the near future. But that brings us to the featured prelim with Atiba Gautier versus Tristan Vines. Man, Vines got a rude awakening with his first fight in the UFC. This was supposed to be against Ozzy Diaz initially, but Diaz had to pull out. He was 1-1 in the UFC, coming off a win going into this fight, but he had to pull out. I think I don't know why. I don't remember why, but he did pull out of this one. So Tristan Vines jumped in at 10-3 and gets a loss in the first round by TKO, elbows to ground punches. As you can see, he's laying against the cage there. That's not a good look when you got Gautier over you, fucking about to rain down some big punches. I mostly watch fights with a mix of expectations and up and comers. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Position. I don't know what that means. I can't even read it. Maybe it's a typo, or maybe it's just some international shit I'm not sure about. But yeah, I mean, it's good to watch everything, and yeah, I usually like to lock in and try to analyze things a little deeper than I got to in this one. But it's a crazy kind of night, and I jumped in right away on Sunday. Sometimes I wait till Monday to do the recap, so I have a little more time to look at the fights. Oh, positional fights like top 15. Okay, got you. That makes sense. But yeah, either way, Gautier looking good in this fight against Tristan. Was I saying Tristan Vines? This was his first UFC fight. He is now 0-1 in the UFC with that loss. He was coming from something. I don't know. He was on a decent win streak, 4-fight win streak coming into this one. But he loses his first fight in the UFC in the first round. That's tough. So we'll see how he bounces back from that. Gautier is definitely going to get some higher level competition. He's 9-1 overall, 3-0 in the UFC, coming from the Contender Series. His first 2 fights, he had performance of the night bonuses on, and those were wins against Jose Medina and Robert Valentin. So he's definitely, we'll see what happens when he gets to higher level competition, or at least, a little higher than he's been getting. But so far, undefeated in the UFC, 3-0, even with a unsuspected opponent that came in last minute, and he still got the job done. So Gautier is a good guy to watch and follow, because he's got some power in those hands, and he's definitely entertaining. So we'll see what happens in the future. Next up, we got the first fight of the main card. Joe Pyfer versus Abus Magomedov. And man, I was a little bit worried for Pyfer there for a minute. He definitely had some problems with Abus. He was they were going toe to toe with the striking, and had some grappling going on, where some transition stuff, and Joe was getting held down for a minute, but was able to turn things around. And there was a lot of movement in this fight. And yeah, for a minute it looked a little worrisome for Pyfer, but he was able to overcome it and wind up getting Magomedov down to the ground and getting a rear naked choke for the submission win in the second round for the middleweight division here. And that gives Joe Pyfer his second or third win in a row. I think third win in a row now. He beat Marc-Andre Barriault with a performance of the night bonus there. He beat Kelvin Gastelum by unanimous decision, and then now he's beat Magomed by rear naked choke and gets that performance of the night bonus as well. So not bad for his last 4 fights. He's 3-1 with 2 performance of the night bonuses. Some big names under him with those wins. Kelvin Gastelum, Marc-Andre Barriault, now Magomed. You know, he lost to Jack Hermanson, that first loss he had in the UFC, but he's now 6-1, and all those people calling fraud check, not sure that you can keep saying that now. But we'll see what happens next. You know, he can get a higher level of competition after this, even though, I mean, Gastelum fought for the title at one point. Marc-Andre Barriault's a beast, so we'll see what he gets next. He's had kind of a mix of competition, but it's been pretty good for him. I mean, Jack Hermanson was a tough fight for him. Obviously, he lost that one by decision. He didn't look good in that fight either, which is why all the haters came out. But I think he looked pretty good in this fight. He had a little bit of trouble, but overcame that adversity. And I was high on Pyfer, then low, then high, then low. Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough one if you're a Pyfer fan. But yeah, he overcame the adversity and was able to get the best of Magomed and get him out of there by submission, when most people were thinking he'd get the TKO KO win. So good for Pyfer, 3-fight win streak. We'll see what he has next for his next fight in UFC. Next up, we have Youssef Zalal versus Josh Emmett, another big puncher, another power puncher with Josh Emmett, but Youssef Zalal with all of those damn submission wins that he has. He had a terrible bicep injury though. It was completely torn. Who did? Pyfer? Like this fight or before? Because I don't remember that. But you know, I have like a million things going through my head. So, and I have a horrible memory. I'm surprised I remember as much as I do. And I'm bad with notes, man. If I have notes in front of me, I just start reading instead of like using them as a conversational, you know, boost. I wind up just reading the damn note, and that's what I wind up doing here too sometimes. But most of the time I'm just going off the top of my head. So I'm a little bit older too, so you know what, people want to talk shit about me being old. It is what it is. Before he was about to retire. Oh, okay. I think I might slightly remember that now. But yeah, Pyfer was that guy, you know. Joe Rogan. Dana White had that whole saying, "Beat Joe Pyfer," because he loved his fighting style and, you know, his grit and determination. So, you know, you lose that one fight and everybody thinks it's over, and it's like, come on, man, it's MMA. People lose fights all the time. It is what it is. And you see guys with lots of losses come up and fight for a title and win a title even. You know, we saw that with Michael Bisping. We saw that with Fabricio Verdum. They had a lot of losses on their records and still came back and won titles. So it's crazy, man. We're not boxing over here. You know, boxing, you lose one fight and then your career's over, basically. That's the way people think. But it's not like that here. So but yeah, Youssef Zalal versus Josh Emmett. Man, I was thinking Josh Emmett needs to get a big punch landed early, punch or kick or something, a big strikes early, and take advantage of Zalal before he, you know, gets you to the ground, because Youssef Zalal's great on the ground. He's got 10 wins by submission now. He's never been stopped on the feet or on the ground. He's 4-0 by KO TKO and 4-5 by decision. So he doesn't win the decisions often, because he's when he does win, he's finishing people, and I mean that makes for an exciting fighter. He wins on the ground a lot, and Josh Emmett found out why on last night. He couldn't get any of those power punches in there. Got taken down early and was finished a minute 38 seconds into the first round by Youssef Zalal with an armbar. It was kind of a weird one, as you can see in these pictures. It looked like Josh Emmett was actually defending pretty well, but I mean, with Zalal having his legs wrapped around, you know, as strong as Emmett might be, those legs are going to be stronger, and he was able to get him to the point where he bent his arm in a way he couldn't take anymore, and I think he verbally submitted even, because I don't remember seeing the tap, and I think I heard somebody say that earlier when I was going through some of the posts about all the fights. But yeah, it was an impressive win by Youssef Zalal, and you know, it's one of those striker versus grappler fights, but it was a fun one while it lasted. I love boxing, but we need to stop comparing guys fighting mixed fights to get to 30-0. Top MMA organizations aren't gonna allow that. Expel in the UFC, you're fighting the best of the best, top 20. Yeah, that's the biggest problem with, with boxing. And Dana's talking about changing that with Zuffa boxing. He wants it to be more like MMA. So we'll see. But, he's had some contradicting statements with that, saying that he wasn't going to recognize all of the other titles because it's oversaturated with titles and all that. All the different organizations, WBO, HBO, CBO, NBA, who the fuck knows anymore? And I'm just saying that jokingly, but honestly, it's weird. Like, who knows? There's so many fucking titles in boxing. It's insane, which isn't always a bad thing, but, it gets to be a little crazy when there's more than, like, almost double digits of belts out there. So, but Zuffa says they're recognizing the ring title, but that's about it. So, but they want to make their own. We'll see how they go with that. But if they make boxing better and more fun to watch, then it is what it is. Dana came out with pay schedule for boxing. Nobody's agreeing to that. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one, man. But I mean, the boxers at the highest level of boxing get paid the most, those crazy, outrageous millions and millions, but not all boxers get paid that. Those lower level boxers are struggling too. You just don't hear about it as much as you do in the UFC, because the UFC guys at the highest levels aren't making the crazy millions that the boxers are making. But it's still only a handful of boxers that are making that kind of money. So the pay thing is tricky, man. It's tricky. And I've gotten into that a lot. I mean, I think these fighters should be getting paid a lot more too. You shouldn't have to work a second job unless you're just bad with your money. You shouldn't have to work a second job to make this your career. And a lot of these guys still have to work in order to keep it going. But yeah, it is what it is. You never know. We'll see how the pay structure gets. You got this $7.7 billion contract with Paramount Plus, and Dana says the fighter pay is going to get better, but all we've heard of so far is that the bonuses are going to go up, and that's surprising considering Dana White complained about agreeing to the $300,000 bonus for UFC 300. But who knows? I do like that guy from Abu Dhabi making fights we want to see in boxing. Oh, Turki Al-Sheikh. Yeah, he's got his issues too, though. But who doesn't? But I do foresee maybe some problems down the road with what he's doing and how he's doing it. He seems to really want to have things done his way, and that's good unless you get to be a little bit unreasonable. And it sounds like a little bit of that is rearing its head lately, according to some of the rumors. But you never know. It's one of those things you just don't really know what's happening in the background. But man, those guys are made of money, and they got the money to spend, so they're going to give us the best of the best. But I don't agree with the way that they run the broadcast. There's a lot of in between bullshit, and it takes a long time. It sucks. Their judging has been suspect. Yeah, that too. That part for sure. So it's tough, man. Boxing is a tough sport. And you know what? I'm going to talk about BKFC when I get to it here. And that was kind of one of my points is I just get bored with it, man, because there's so much you can think about with MMA, whether it's, grappling, wrestling, striking, submissions. There's so many different things that can happen. You got to watch out for the legs. You got to watch out for the knees, the spinning elbows, not just punches. And then you got to watch out for the takedowns, the submissions. There's so many things to watch out for in MMA. So it makes it exciting because you never know what's going to happen next. With boxing, it's like, yeah, somebody's going to get punched. Oh, somebody's going to get punched again. Okay. That guy got punched harder than that guy. So it gets a little bit repetitive, and it's tough to remember, or not remember, but stay locked in and really, yeah. But boxing's been around for a long time. They call it the sweet science for a reason. So I can't down on it too much, but when you have something to compare to like MMA, it's tough to pick boxing over MMA when you have this many different angles of winning and this many different ways of making the action be more exciting. So next up, though, congrats to Yusuf Zalal, by the way, for that big win on the ground. Josh Emmett, tough time there. Still a good fight while it lasted. So let's get to this other fight. One of the bigger fights on the card for sure. And we got Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree. what can I say about Khalil Roundtree, man? Holy fucking shit. This poor guy is just getting the absolute dog shit beat out of him, but he's a fucking warrior, and he stays up there and he sticks in there until the last minute of him being able to handle it. And you see that all over his face, but man, he takes so much punishment. It's insane. I feel bad for the dude. And that's because I like him too, man. He was like a 300-pound guy. He got into MMA just for the workout and to lose weight, and turns into, you know, a guy that's in the UFC having success and fighting for a title, and being one of the most durable guys in the organization at his weight. But man, it comes to a point where you can't take that much punishment, man. And the kind of scar tissue he's got to have built up in his face at this point, with how much he's been busted open, especially with the fights that he's had and the amount of time in between. I mean, it's tough to know that that stuff was really fully healed by the time, with how bad it was when he fought Pereira. I was rooting for him, but yeah, he was up against a monster. Yeah, he definitely is a warrior too, man, and I give him all his props for sticking in there with killers like Pereira and Yuri. But you know what? He got his licks in on Yuri too. He made Yuri bleed. You know, he caught Yuri quite a bit, and at one point I think he got him a little bit wobbled, and that was exciting. But we did get to the third round on this one, and 3 minutes and 4 seconds into the third round, Yuri Prochazka gets the TKO win over Khalil Roundtree, catching him with that left hook and finishing him. He's fought the best of the best, no doubt. No doubt. And he's hung in there with them too, man. I remember some of those shots he landed on Pereira when he fought him. I was like, holy shit. I can't believe he even got those in there. So yeah, especially, I mean, after he went to Thailand, man, he came back a different fighter, a different person. And, you know, I wish he would get some of those kicks back in there. I think, Shawnee, we were talking about that during the watch party. If he would just start kicking like he was when he was Muay Thai Khalil, I feel like he needs to incorporate that a little more. I feel like that would have benefited him quite a bit in this fight. Just chopping some of those legs down, man, especially with the big guy like Yuri, who has the length and has the power. You know, wear him down with those leg kicks, and that could do you some good. But they both got bonuses. Fight of the night bonus for this one, with Yuri getting the win by TKO, and that puts Yuri at on a 2-fight win streak. For bonuses in both these fights, he got a performance of the night bonus against Jamal Hill with that third round TKO win over him as well, which he landed some nasty shots on Jamal Hill, and that was a fun fight to watch as well. But man, both these fights get into the third round, and he gets the win in the third. He takes shots himself though, so Yuri's got to watch out for that, because when he's gonna come up to people like Potato, who has his number, and it's gonna be tough for him. Yeah, we were talking about that last night. He lost his kickboxing. He was doing good with his kicks to the body, but it really wasn't a big part of the game plan. It definitely wasn't, and it showed. He did that oblique kick a couple times too, and I felt like that was being productive there, but he just wasn't going back to it. And I think that those kicks benefit him a lot, and I think he needs to stick to that and keep that incorporated into the game plan with any of these fights coming up for him. We'll see where he goes with this one though, because this is back-to-back really bad losses for Khalil, getting beat up, a lot of damage. Let's see how long it was in between the two fights. Oh, he had the fight with Jamal Hill in between as well. I forgot about that. But Pereira, that was back in October of 2024, so a year ago. And I still think with the kind of damage he took, I'm surprised he had that other fight with Jamal Hill. But that was in June of this year, so he did take quite a while in between of that. Before we get to Maine, that Sergio Pettis back elbow. Oh, I'm going to talk about that one too. I wanted to touch on PFL after this, and then talk about BKFC too. So I'm running on time here. We're rolling pretty deep, but it's okay. We'll get to it. But yeah, so we'll see what Khalil has coming up next. And if he's going to take some time. He needs some time off after this for sure. So we'll see. Let's get to this co-main event. We got Merab Dvalishvili versus Corey Sandhagen. And man, Merab being the machine, he did what he does. As you can see, the crazy transitions that he takes to get somebody down to the ground, throwing Corey Sandhagen on his head. He worked in the striking really well, as we know, because he actually wobbled Corey in the second round and almost dropped him. And Corey even said, "You almost finished me in that second round." But I will say, end of the 5th round, Corey caught Merab. So, you know, and yeah, we talk about it when they're 3-round fights. It's like, well, if this was a 5-round fight, maybe he would have lost. And it's like, well, guess what? This was a 5-round fight, and it happened at the very end. So there's not much more we can say unless Corey turned it up early and was able to catch him like he did. But if you think about it, I mean, Merab has the gas tank, but you know, when it comes down to it, he still had a lot of gas in him when he was in that 5th round. They both slowed down a little bit in the 3rd, it seemed like. And they kind of, or I think it might have been the 4th. I think it was the 4th. They slowed down a bit, and it seemed like they both kind of took the round off a little bit. Not so much pressure and action. But in the 5th, of course, it got turned up. Corey knew he needed to do something to finish that fight, and he almost came through with it. If he would have gotten that big shot a little earlier in that round, he might have had a chance. But Merab's a machine, man, and he recovers well. And we've seen him in lots of trouble in the past, and he's been able to recover and still get wins. So, and you hardly ever seen him down and out. So Merab is going to be a champ for a bit, I think. I don't know. We'll see if he winds up moving up in weight. But I definitely think, like Shawnee said earlier, that he's got to be the GOAT of the 135 division at this point. Everything that he's done, the amount of title defenses, the win streak he's on, 14 fucking fight win streak now. That's insane. He lost his first 2 fights in the UFC. So anybody that loses their first 2 fights in the UFC, look at Merab and what he did. Went on a now 14 fight win streak, is the champion. So don't give up. That's what I see from that. Don't give up, and we can't be too down on fighters that are like 0-2 in the UFC, because they could turn it around and be the next Merab. So that's something to think about. But this was Merab's 3rd title defense since beating Sean O'Malley for that title back in 2024 at UFC Noche. Came back and fought Umar Nurmagomedov and disposed of him, and then finished Sean O'Malley in the rematch there. And then now he's beaten Corey Sandhagen. So what is truly next for him? That's exactly what I was going to ask. What the hell's next? I know a lot of people don't like my take because we got tired of DJ running through the 125 division, but I like when you guys stay in their division, or when guys stay in their division and take out everyone. I think clearing out the division is the best way to go, for sure. Sometimes people don't like that. I understand that as well. But let's look at the rankings real fast and just see what could possibly be next for him, because that's the best way to tell. I know the rankings will get updated on Tuesday, but for now we can take a look. Umar Nurmagomedov is at 2, and that, I mean, he just beat him, so that doesn't really make sense. He beat Sean O'Malley recently too, for the 2nd time. Piotr Yan, he beat Piotr back in the day, but maybe a rematch there. Song Yadong is at number 5. He just beat Corey, who's at number 4. And then you got Davison Figueiredo, who's at number 6, but he lost to Corey before Corey came into this fight. So damn. And then you get to number 7 is Chito Vera. I don't know, man. None of these guys. He's already beat Henry Cejudo. Eamon Zahabi's looking good, but I mean, I don't know. Mario Batista's looking good, but I don't know if he's at that level yet. Rob Font at 13. Vinicius Oliveira at 12. David Martinez at 11. Rob Font at 13. Kyler Phillips and Marcus McGee make up the rest of that. I don't know. That's tough. I see a rematch with Piotr Yan, maybe. He's been doing all right. Davison Figueiredo just got injured against Corey in that last fight, so he's going to be out a bit with that knee injury. And he hasn't looked the best. I'm not sure why he's even ranked at number 6. Maybe just because of his previous fights in the other weight class. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's tough. We get into this mode of he should move up because he's really not a fighter if he doesn't move up. Don't get me wrong, I love that Topuria is doing that. Yeah, well, that's the thing though, is if you don't really have the opponents in the division, it's you kind of got to move up or move down. I don't see Merab moving down, but I definitely see maybe a move up, and he would have to fight Volkanovski. That would be a crazy ass fight to watch him fight Volkanovski. But you also got Movsar Evloev at number 1 over there. Diego Lopez, that'd be interesting. Yair Rodriguez, Lerone Murphy, and obviously he's not going to fight Aljamain Sterling. That's your top 5 there. So Brian Ortega versus Merab would be crazy because, Merab doesn't strike that much, but he has been lately. He did in this fight. So who knows, if he ups that striking, Brian Ortega won't have a chance. So there's some fun fights in these 2 divisions. But I mean, there's a lot less in this one now that he disposed of Corey Sandhagen. So it's tough. We'll have to wait and see what happens next. But that brings us to the main event. And that was a quick one. So we had Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev in the main event for the light heavyweight championship. It was a rematch, of course, because Ankalaev was the champion because he beat Pereira in the last fight. Neither one of these guys has fought since then, but I don't think, right? Yeah, no, Ankalaev never defended. That was in March of this year, so it wasn't even that long ago. So he gets the immediate rematch, which I think he deserved. Sometimes fighters have different plans, different goals. We shouldn't penalize Merab for wanting to dominate his division. Not at all. Let him fight anybody who thinks would give him a good fight, or just let him clear it all out so he can say, hey, free and clear, I'll wash my hands of this division and we'll move up. I mean, that's just sometimes what you got to do. Unless you get some fresh blood in there, but by the time those fresh guys come in and get some fights under their belts that get them to that position, it's already long over that Merab likes to stay busy, so he's gonna fly through that division, and there's not gonna be a lot of time for the up and comers to make their way up there. Let me know when we gotta drink up. Oh, I'm always just like, oh, I'm thirsty now, so I gotta get a sip. So I just sneak them in there, so I'm not, leaving dead air too much. But yeah, I'll take another sip right now. So cheers to you, Johnny. Take a sip if you're ready. But anyway, the main event, obviously a quick one. A minute 20 seconds into the first round, we get Pereira with the big left hand. Of course, that's what he's known for. That big left hand is a killer, and when he's feeling good in there, he's almost unstoppable. And yes, we've seen him lose twice. We saw him lose to Adesanya. There was nothing there but Adesanya beating him. That's all there was to it. But with the loss of Ankalaev, as we talked about earlier, he talked about the foot injury. He talked about having an illness and not being himself in that last fight. And a lot of people could see that. So Ankalaev beat him, took the title, but Pereira comes back March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. 7 months later, gets the rematch and becomes a champ again. Making it quick, a minute and 20 seconds in. So Pereira, in the last, 4 years that he's been fighting, is now like a 3-time champion or some shit. That is crazy. And in 2 different weight classes. And now he's talking about possibly moving up to heavyweight. I don't know how he would do against Aspinall, but I think he'd have a good chance. A lot better chance than a lot of those other guys in the heavyweight division that really haven't shown us a whole lot and haven't really done much in that division. So it's definitely one of those things where he could move up there and be the best matchup for Aspinall. But Aspinall has Cyril Gane to get past first. I don't know that that's really a tough feat considering what we saw John Jones do to Gane. And a lot of people think Aspinall's better than Jones even. So that'll always be up in the air until we see them fight. Well, who knows? Speaking of that, I almost forgot, and I meant to put it in here, but Arthur Jones passed away. That is John Jones's brother. He was a member of my favorite football team, the Indianapolis Colts. He was on there for quite a while. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say condolences to the Jones family. I think they lost their mother a while back, and now losing Arthur seemed pretty out of the blue. No one is expecting it. He's only 39 years old. That's younger than me, man. So that trips me out. Like, the young guy for that, especially being an athletic guy. He may have been a big dude, but still, to be in the NFL, you got to be athletic, and he definitely was that. It sounded like heart complications of some sort, but I don't know if I was just reading something that was speculation or not, but that's the last thing I read. So, you know, just wanted to put that out there too. So much respect to Pereira, though. Instead of giving any kind of a speech, which some people are also speculating that speech was going to be the fact that he was going to call out John Jones for a fight. Since John Jones is, you know, since Dana White saying John Jones isn't going to be on the White House card, maybe he was thinking, hey, I'll, you know, now that I'm the champ again, I'll call him out and we'll do, you know, I'll go up to heavyweight and we'll fight for that title and become a double champ. I know that the UFC doesn't like that and kind of saying that they're not doing that anymore, but you never know what Pereira had up his sleeve. But instead, he decided to tell the crowd to have a moment of silence for Arthur Jones, and it seemed like John Jones really appreciated that, so that was cool to see. And we'll see if Pereira comes out with a statement of some sort in the near future with what he was actually wanting to say after that fight. I was wrong about this fight. I think Jones walks him to the cage and takes him down, holds him down for a sub. He would have a better chance against Tom. Respect for Alex for taking that moment. Okay, that makes sense. I understand that. Did you see Pereira posted a picture of Ankalaev on the ground after the KO with a Photoshop tire in his hands? Oh shit, I didn't see that. That's hilarious though. That's pretty fucking funny. I just kept seeing a bunch of memes of Ankalaev, you know, it's like, oh, when your mom wakes you up because you slept through your alarm and hit snooze 10 times, and it's like him with that surprised look on his face after Pereira knocked him down and finished him. It was funny. But yeah, I didn't see that one with the tire. I'll have to look that up. That's hilarious. But we got Poaton back to being a champ, and we'll see what's coming up for him next. I mean, if we look at those rankings, now that he's the champ, I saw a video of Ankh working in the tire shop. We got Yuri as number 2. So that's the other thing. We saw Yuri looking like he was a little bit emotional about the fact that Pereira got the win. And everyone's wondering, is that because he knows he already lost twice, so he's not going to get that title shot now? But after that big win, who knows? We also have Carlos Ulberg at number 3. And yeah, Tyler just said that Ulberg is 100% next. That's a possibility. And he was there too. It looked like he wanted to walk in the cage during that Yuri and Khalil Roundtree fight, but I'm not sure what was going on there because we were in the watch party. But yeah, who knows? We got some interesting stuff going on there. I wouldn't mind seeing Yuri fight Alex again. I know we've seen it twice and he lost both times, but Yuri is a savage, and he's definitely down to, you know, try to get that fight and get that fight back, at least one of those losses. But Carlos Ulberg, I don't know if he's at the level of Yuri and Alex though, to be honest with you. I don't know if he can take the damage that Khalil took, so that makes me think that Alex has Yuri's number. Yeah, that's what's unfortunate about that. So I don't know if Carlos has what it takes though. Well, I don't know that we've really seen him get punished the way that Alex and Yuri have both punished Khalil Roundtree. And Khalil's a different type of dude. So Ulberg is more on the offense instead of the defense. And yeah, I don't know. After that, we have Jan Blachowicz, which I'm not seeing that happen unless he puts something together and looks better than he has in the past. Jamal Hill has obviously fought both these guys and lost to both of them. Ulberg is a very good kickboxer, and he's good at staying at range, so it's interesting. Yeah, and that's what could keep him from taking the kind of damage that Khalil did. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I just don't know that he's at that level. I don't know. I have doubts. But obviously we saw Dominic Reyes lose to Ulberg, so that's a no. Alexander Rakic, I don't know about that. Volkan Ozdemir and Azmat Mirzakhanov round out the top 10. So, oof, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens next. I think it's either going to be Yuri or Carlos, unless they make them fight each other. I mean, it looked like Pereira hurt his foot, so we'll see how long he has to be out for that. I mean, that's the second time we've seen him coming out of a fight with a foot injury. And then obviously he had that injury going into the last fight with Ankalaev. So, man, he might need some time to really recover and get that shit going. But we know he's an active fighter. He's an active champion, just like Merab. We've seen him step in a lot. Maybe he learned his lesson from the last time, but Mirzakhanov is a couple wins away. But yeah, it's Ulberg. Then I say Ankh versus Yuri. That would be interesting. Ankh versus Yuri for sure. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But it's definitely an interesting take now that Pereira is back to being the champ, and we'll see what happens next. So that's it for UFC 320. I wanted to touch on these other events that happened. We were just talking about that PFL card. I got Yuri to KO Ank. I think Ank. Yeah, I think you're right on that one, man. I don't know that Ankalaev can take what Yuri put out against Khalil and against Jamal Hill. So yeah, that's a good point. So we had this PFL card that happened as well. Controversial in the main event because we had the fight against Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes. This was a rematch, I believe, and Arthur Jones had a pacemaker. So yeah, that's what I was reading about his pacemaker. Alerted emergency service, but it was too late. Just wanted to dispel online saying it was self-harm. Oh yeah, see, I never saw anything about that. I did see something about the pacemaker thing though. So that's a good point there, Shawnee. Thank you for letting me know that. At least you saw that as well. That's why I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know. I've seen a couple things about some heart problems, but you never know. But I didn't see anything about the self-harm stuff, so it's good to know that it wasn't that. Sucks that he's passed away regardless, but the heart stuff is different, man. But yeah, so we had Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paul Hughes in this fight for the main event, and it seems like everyone thinks that Paul Hughes got robbed. So this was their second fight against each other. They had one back in January of this year where Nurmagomedov got the majority decision win against Paul Hughes, and now he gets the unanimous decision win, which I guess is the problem because I guess there was scorecards that said 50-45 when it was clearly not that much of a defeat on the side of Paul Hughes. He definitely did enough to win a couple rounds in there. So I don't know how they could see that for Nurmagomedov. Plus they were posting something about there being a mix-up with the scorecards, and just the PFL, man. I don't get it. Paul Hughes did not get robbed. No way. He kind of got schooled, but it was 49-46, not 50-45. Okay, so I didn't watch the fight because I just never got to it. I kept seeing all the highlights. I kept hearing everything. I kept hearing a lot of people saying that Paul Hughes got robbed though. That's why I was like, I don't know, and I never got a chance to really look into it. But I knew for sure that the scorecards were a big thing. So I mean, regardless, he loses though, right? I mean, it is what it is. Just because 50-45, 49-46, regardless of any of it, he lost, and that's his second loss in a row. So that's unfortunate for him. But I get it, man. It's frustrating when people lose by that big amount. But it's even worse when they lose and they shouldn't have lost. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at Paul's face after the fight and look at Usman's face. It tells the story. I did see something about that too. So yeah, I wanted to go back. I'm still gonna go back and watch it when I get a chance, because I want to see what all the uproar was, and I'm sure gonna hear about it a little bit. But yes, I did see Sergio Pettis's KO. That shit was insane, and I felt bad because I was kind of talking shit on Sergio Pettis in the last fight. I was just saying that yeah, he might have been a champ in Bellator, but he lost that one. After he lost, it just seemed like he wasn't getting the big wins anymore. He wasn't robbed. Side note though, the reaction from Sergey hitting the elbow. Sergio, I think you meant, hitting the elbow from his corner was funny as hell. I don't know that I saw that. I'm gonna have to go back and find that too. But I did see the elbow. It was insane the way that he came around and hit that back elbow against Magomedov to get that spinning back elbow KO in the second round. So big ups to Sergio Pettis on that one. That was a fucking hell of a knockout, man. Like I said, after I was talking shit, I wasn't talking mad shit. I was just like, hey, I haven't seen him do a whole lot since he lost that title in Bellator. He had gotten a win before against Rufian Stotts by unanimous decision in PFL. So that makes him on a 2-fight win streak in the PFL. He fought in boxing once. He fought in Ryzen once where he lost to Kyoji Horiguchi. That's a tough opponent though. And he lost his title to Patchy Mix, who, we've seen not do so well in the UFC. But Yeah, that was a badass knockout there. Corey Anderson, former UFC fighter, got the unanimous decision win over Dovlet Yagshimuradov, I think. But yeah, that makes him the official PFL light heavyweight champion, as well as Usman Nurmagomedov becoming the PFL lightweight champion officially, because they called it vacant before, so I don't know. Archie Colgan versus JJ Wilson. Colgan gets the unanimous decision win there. We talked about Sergio Pettis. Jack Cartwright versus Colin Lochrain, who came from the UFC as well, and he takes an L to Jack Cartwright by unanimous decision on that one. So that makes Colin Lochrain, oh no, that was his first loss, because he won his last fight in the UFC by split decision, but still got cut, or maybe just didn't get his contract renewed, I'm not sure. But comes into the PFL and loses, so that's tough. Patchy Mix Fraud checked every PFL and Bellator fighter. It wasn't even a spinning back elbow. His ground game defensive was good. If you're a fan of hating on guys doing no damage and held down for points, then you will love the Sergio fight. Yeah, it was kind of like a back. It was almost like the Yair Rodriguez versus Korean Zombie elbow, where it just came out of nowhere. It wasn't really a full-on spinning back elbow like we saw Lerone Murphy do to Aaron Pico, and that other fight that happened earlier that night too. I just can't remember at the exact moment. It wasn't that kind of spinning back elbow, but it was definitely back elbow, kind of like the Yair one with Korean Zombie. So it was entertaining. That shit was crazy, just crazy. So yeah, that's about it for PFL. You know, I just wanted to touch on it real quick. I would have liked to have seen that Artem Lobov versus Tubairov fight, but that got canceled. So I don't know what Magomedov was trying to do with that jumping shit. I don't either, man. It looked like a weird fight, like from his side, and he was the favorite too against Pettis, and Pettis came out and got that win. So that's pretty dope. It was an elbow, and I got other things to do. Oh, okay. I'm not, it sounded like two different things you're saying there. I wasn't sure what you were saying, but yeah. Yeah, so besides that, I wanted to touch on this BKFC event as well, because this shit was crazy. As we know, King of Violence and Queen of Violence were being crowned at this one. Mike Perry was already the King of Violence, so he's kind of defending. But as we know, BKFC is a bloody and crazy fucking event, sport, whatever you want to call it. And Mike Perry has found a home there. He's definitely made for BKFC. Magomed was beating his ass, but yeah, he was jumping around like he was in a trampoline park for no reason. Shoddy said, I love BKFC. I do. I mean, I do too, man. Honestly, I don't go out of my way to watch it all the time, but if I see that it's on, I'll definitely turn it on. I was interested in this one, but I did not want to pay the $50 to watch it on top of the $80 I already had to pay for the UFC. So they kind of lost out on that one. I'm not sure how their viewership was, but it sounded like maybe it ended before the main card started, at least for the UFC, but I don't know, who knows. But it sounded like a crazy event. I watched the highlights. It was nuts, as it always is in BKFC. And as we know, two former UFC fighters going at it for the King of Violence crown in the main event. Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stevens, the
who the fuck is that guy?
That guy, Russian Link. Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't even keep up with the damn prelims because I was doing shit. So pay, yeah, you had to pay for this one. This was you're probably saying what Tyler's saying. I forgot you were taking breaks in between and coming back. No, that was Tyler doing that. But yeah, that's funny. I know I get frustrated with those things, so it honestly, I hate it. I hate trying to make sure that the stream stays up. It pisses me off, so I really don't do it, honestly. But yeah, that's why I pay for all the UFC fights, because I care about that a little bit more than anything else, if you couldn't tell by this show. But yeah, so on this event we had Jeremy Stevens versus Mike Perry, two former UFC fighters, and then we had Christine Fajeda versus Jessica Borga, Black Widow, in the co-main event for the Queen of Violence title. And then we also had Jeremy Rivera versus Timmy Mason, which Jimmy Rivera was supposed to fight Frankie Edgar, but Dave Feldman was testing the shit out of Frankie Edgar for his brain health and everything else, and Shawnee. Yeah. But yeah, he was not able to be cleared, and that's probably better for him considering the amount of knockouts he suffered at the end of his career for the UFC. So I'm kind of glad he didn't fight that. I mean, yeah, I love Frankie Edgar and want to see him fight if he wants to fight, but not when he's been knocked out like that. And if you saw how these fights went in the BKFC, you know it was better for Frankie Edgar for him to not fight. We want McGregor versus Perry in BKFC, not McGregor at the White House. At this point, that's a damn good point, and I agree with it. Yeah, McGregor's all about the White House card, thinking that he's already signed to do that. Dana said, well, we all know what Dana says all the time. He combats everything until he's ready to say it is what it is. But Dana said no fights have been signed yet. McGregor can say whatever he wants, but no fights have been officially signed yet. So, but yeah, McGregor's all about BKFC. He's a stakeholder there, and he's basically their promoter at this point. And he's all wrapped up in everything that happens there. So, and him and Mike Perry have been talking shit back and forth for a while now. And Mike Perry gets the win here against Jeremy Stephens. But before I hit that up, I want to talk about this Christine Fajeda versus Black Widow Borga, Jessica Borga. So there was definitely some beef in this one. And Christine Fajeda is a heavy hitter. I mean, that's really all I can say. This woman can fucking beat the shit out of some people. And we saw that here. If you saw that ending, the last punch that dropped Borga and finished her was insane, man. The sound of that punch connecting was absolutely nuts. I mean, fucking BKFC is crazy as it is, and Borga's face looks so mangled. You know, Fajeda was bleeding a little bit too here and there, but I mean, she landed this punch that was fucking disgusting. 26 seconds into the fourth round, she finishes Jessica Borga and just mangles her face, man. That punch was out of this fucking world. We've seen some big punches in the UFC, the sounds that come from it and shit, but this bare knuckle shit is crazy. And for Fajeda, I've seen her knock people out before, but goddamn, this one was crazy. And this one was special because the sound, the force, the visuals, and the aftermath, just all so nuts. But entertaining as shit too. So Christine Fajeda, the official queen of violence, with that fourth round TKO win over Jessica Borga. And they buried the beef, it seems like, because Fajeda went to the hospital and actually visited Borga as she was getting checked out and cleaned up and stuff. Man, she mangled her nose though. Holy shit, that nose was fucked. And you could see the pain on Borga's face after she got hit. You knew it was over right then and there when you saw that wincing in her face, and she was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I in this? Why did I do this? Instant regret. But she put up a good fight though. So, and that brings us to the last thing, which is Mike Perry versus Jeremy Stephens, an all-out war. Jeremy Stephens caught Mike Perry in the first round, or the second round, I think, and wobbled him a little bit. It was kind of crazy. And Mike Perry got hit a lot. His face was pretty damn swollen up. You could hear that the swelling was messing with him talking correctly as well. But Mike Perry put the work in on Jeremy Stephens. As you can see, Jeremy Stephens got knocked down about 5 or 6 times before he was fully finished. In the fourth round, or in the fifth round, a minute 35 seconds into the fifth round, he gets dropped for what was 6-7 times. But something like that. It was an insane amount of times, and Jeremy Stephens just kept taking a knee, would wait until about 6 to 8 count, and then get up. And yeah, man, he got beat the fuck up. And in the first one, he was landing punches on Mike Perry. He was dancing around and doing some little shimmies, but man, he got worked in the end. Mike Perry shows and proves why he's the king of BKFC, the king of violence, and why Tyler. I hear it so often, it's so stupid, but it gets stuck in your head, honestly. I'm too old for that shit. What am I doing? But yeah, I mean, Jeremy Stephens, yeah, he knew he was done at the end. He kept taking that knee after he was gyrating around in that first round when he almost knocked down Mike Perry. But it was an entertaining fight, and man, Mike Perry is a crazy motherfucker, man. He's wild, and BKFC is nuts. That's all I gotta say. So I will always cover the big fights at BKFC. I should cover it a little more, but you know, UFC just overwhelms me with everything. So, and I stick to that for the most part, but I will touch on these other events as much as I can. So anyway, that's it for that. And that's it for us here today, because I'm all talked out and we went rolling for quite a while. So thanks everybody in the chat for the interaction as usual. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to go check out Lost Souls MMA here soon and see what that's about, since we had some action going on with all that. Everybody that jumped in for that, I appreciate you. If you come back and listen to this later, Shawnee, thank you for the constant interaction and the good questions. Tyler Fish as well. Tyler always making me laugh. You always come up with some shit that's funny as hell, man. So I appreciate you. Thanks again for everybody in the chat. DJ Infinity as usual for all the support, and go follow his page as well. It's linked in the description of the watch party video, so you can go check that out, and go subscribe to his as well. That's it for me. Come back on Thursday for the preview of next week's fight. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.